to them. You gotta press the button on your end.
Understand your ridiculous demands.
Well, they're wiggling, and we should make them stop.
Look at Kyle, he's brought up support people of Ukraine, you fucking simp.
It's time for us to take a shot. No kidding. Actually, I was comparing this. So this is actually me looking at this in the background. You didn't send me anything to pull up yet, did you?
I did, you munchkin.
Oh, you did. I was looking at the player bases for Victoria, and you know what surprises me? Victoria 2, the reason why it's so low in 2012, like 272, I had to think about that for like a second. I was like, why is it so low? And I'm like, oh, most people bought physical boxes back then, so of course the stats are lower.
Oh yeah, Steam was barely a thing even at that point. Like, and
Very
plus, remember as
different
well, you gotta remember, in 2012, grand strategy games wasn't a genre that people played. Like, Christ.
But here's something fascinating that I thought was really cool, and I have it up right now. So if you look at it, the player base on average has statistically speaking, has risen actually over the course of its cycle. It's never actually really gone down. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of cool. Because more people are getting their eyes up for it.
Sadly, only 2,000 peak. Not enough. Should be higher.
It did see its highest on Steam during the launch of Victoria 3, which I thought was mildly amusing.
Mm-hmm. Victoria 3, fascinatingly enough, its peak is 69,000. So that just goes to show how the market has also expanded too.
Oh, grand strategy has become a much, much more popular genre, and you can credit Crusader Kings too for that, essentially.
Mm-hmm. All the silly little meme things coming out of it. Which honestly it's a blessing and a curse. A blessing because the money backing it is bigger than ever. Mm-hmm. A curse because the casualization and the streamlining of it is even worse than ever.
Yes. Which is so fucking retarded as well, because Crusader Kings 2 was not a particularly simplistic grand strategy game. Like, it had some simplistic mechanics in comparison to, like, Hearts of Iron or European Universalis, but it certainly wasn't simplistic. And yet Paradox saw that and decided, oh, people must like not having mechanics in their video games at all. Don't know about that, but if you say so.
Mm-hmm.
Such is life.
But we have a glorious image on today's thumbnail about something I would never have dreamed of happening. Somebody walking with a fucking sink.
Now, right before that, Lord of Opossum has been drinking again, so just give me a second.
Possums, lay off the booze.
He says, do you think companies will do what COD is doing and remake their old games like Modern War 1 and 2? Yes, like the remake thing has been going for a while now. It's easy money. Simple as that. Yep.
Very easy. Firstly, when you're remaking a game, you don't need to think about the story. The story's already done. You don't really need to design the enemies or the style of the game. That's already done. All you need to do is take those core concepts, even if you're remaking it, and basically try to modernize it. And sometimes that works out really, really well, like we saw with the Age of Empires Definitive Editions. And sometimes that works out horrifically bad, where we saw the god-awful Warcraft 3 Reforged. That was done by that weird Chinese company. That was an absolute
And I want to point
disaster.
out, too, this isn't just in gaming. Like, remakes have been a thing for a while now. Like, look at movies, too, like that god-awful Aladdin remake. Or the actually kind of decent RoboCop-style remake thing. Or the hashtag Kill the Uyghurs Mulan remake, which was made right next to a fucking slave camp. You know? Stuff.
See, some of these remakes that we're getting is pretty good, and I actually really like them. Like, I'm looking forward to the Dead Space remake, but some of them we're getting...
Total Recall remake.
The Total Recall. See, that was my first time seeing Total Recall, and I saw that movie, and I thought it was like, man, this is kind of like... It's a neat concept with, like, the train thing going through the Earth, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, gravity, like, that's gonna get crushed in the middle. But whatever.
Yes. It was very dumb and not at all what Total Recall should be, but oh well, fucking details. But yeah, remakes have been a thing. Oh god, we've wandered off topic. Possum says, what game would you like to be remastered? None. Kill them all. Burn them to the ground.
Actually, what game desperately needs it? What game
Red
needs
Alert
it?
2. That's the only one.
Red Alert 2. And I'll throw in Tiberian Sun with the respective expansions.
No,
Yes.
shut up. No more remakes. No more remasters.
Yes. Actually, no, I don't want to remaster. Hold on. Revert that. I want those remade. Remade with the ability of attack move, controls, and better queuing. Just modern controls. That's all I ask. Modern controls.
You spoiled pussy.
That's all I want. Modern controls is a simple request.
No. You weakling.
One final game. Warcraft 1.
No.
No. You try playing that
no,
pile of shit.
Kyle, you don't get to have that.
That was pain to play through. Also, this website broke. I keep refreshing it, but it's pitch white. And it hurts the chat's eyes. So I'm trying to fix it.
He also asks, favorite scary movie and video game? None, because they're gay. It's the correct answer.
Why is he carrying a sink? Like, why is he doing that?
Think about it for a second, Kyle. Think about it for a moment.
Like, he's gonna clean house?
No? What are they doing, Kyle?
I don't know. I haven't been following this because I honestly don't
care.
I
know. I'm intrigued by your thought process there because I got the joke pretty quickly, and I want to see if you do as well.
Like, for me, like, my whole understanding of the Twitter thing has been, I don't care. It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
Specific joke. Consider it an IQ test, Kyle. So, both his hands are occupied. There you go. you read that off chat, didn't you? You fucking little tart.
Actually, no. Why are they saying that over there too?
Yeah, no, that was the joke because both his hands are occupied, so people have to go over and let him in, so they must let it sink in.
That is so stupid.
Yes, but it's also very funny.
It
is so dumb, it's funny.
I kind of wish I was wrong. I kind of wish it was something else and it had some other layer to it. And now I'm just kind of upset. That's dumb. That's stupid.
As you should be.
That's actually retarded.
I also love the shit-eating grin on his face as well as he's doing this.
Let that sink in. Ah! That's so dumb. He is a boomer. He is a boomer. And the website broke. Literally, CNBC, your website is trash. All right, well, let's just talk about it because that image... I'm just going to Google a picture of Elon Musk. Hold on.
First up, Kyle, because this caused a little bit of other stuff too, because there was the rumors going around that he was going to fire like 75% of all Twitter employees. Now, the rumors has gone back and forth on this. Apparently, people are saying that he's not going to fire all of them, etc. But there was also this here. Some Twitter chick, Deidre Bosa, which is apparently pronounced Deirdre, as she says in a Twitter bio, works for CNBC, the same outlet that made that previous article, Kyle. And here we have an entire team of data engineers that have been let go. Hashtag Twitter takeover. Because this is very scary, Kyle. This is very, very dangerous, isn't it?
Sure, if you're an idiot.
It's very, it's horrifying. It's a Twitter takeover, Kyle.
Oh, no.
And
the boomer
the two
environmentalists took over. Woo! Like
the two employees in question here introduced themselves as Ligma and Johnson.
My fucking soul. They're absolutely terrified of a nutty putty fucking environmentalist guy who just, you know, oh my god, with fucking dad jokes. Like that's who they're terrified of. Like that is so
dad
dumb.
Jokes go deeper than that, Kyle.
Dad jokes go deeper. I don't want them to.
they do. Do you recognize their names, Kyle?
No, I don't. I don't have the article.
You don't. Okay. No, I sent you the other tweet.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, let me open it again. Oh, there we go.
Raul
Those
Ligma
aren't
and Daniel Johnson.
Those aren't real people.
That is correct, Kyle.
Musk has allegedly fired an entire team of Twitter data engineers with laid off employees. Rahul Ligma, Daniel Johnson. These two look like shit posters.
That's because they are.
You know,
And this comes from the Associated Press as well. Because this is an older joke where the Ligma meme, where people are like, he died of Ligma, and people ask, what is Ligma? Ligma dick? And of course, the press was all over this.
This is retarded.
I actually, no, it is excellent. Like the press is like, oh look here's Rahul Ligma and Daniel Johnson.
Yeah,
Ligma
no,
Johnson.
these are shit posters. Like, Jesus Christ, this whole thing has been retarded. Like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and it's completely stupid.
Yeah, but it's also really, really funny.
You know,
Again, the media is desperate to try and paint some kind of crisis picture on this.
oh, they are, and they can't find anything. Like, this whole thing, the problem is no one gives a shit. Nobody fucking cares. And to top it off, like, the funniest thing, I think...
They do care, Kyle.
Well,
like,
the
previous chick,
yes,
the CNCBC lady,
they care.
She wrote in a second tweet, which she still hasn't deleted because she hasn't realized yet, where she wrote, they are visibly shaken.
Good. Fuck them. But
they must have been good actors.
I think the funniest thing I saw was a bunch of people who thought Twitter was changed all of a sudden and joined Twitter and started saying the N-word like right away, and then all got banned.
Bit of a public service announcement.
Idiots.
Keep the M-bombs in the base for the time being. The terms of service has not been changed yet, gentlemen.
Fucking morons. Jesus Christ. Like, people can't, like, okay. Remember, when somebody buys this mega fucking dumbass corporation, like, shit takes a while because there's bureaucracy and other bullshit that has to get sorted. There isn't going to be any real change for a while, and there might not even be any change. We have yet to see anything.
No. No, we have. He's fired the the Indian dude person.
Okay. But like,
he's also fired the chick that went with Jack Dorsey on Joe Rogers. Joe Rogers? No.
That's funny. I forgot who Jack Dorsey was for a second, but then I just remembered. But
yes, he went on the show with the bald dude and got absolutely reamed by Tim Pool.
But there's still no changes for the common man. Like, these are changes.
Yes, that's true. Not for us. Yeah.
These are shakeups up in the top, but we don't know if his policy is actually going to really change much. We'll have to wait and see. Because for us, the user base, nothing has changed. Not right now.
Not yet. But he is purging leadership, and I hope he does go through with it and purge a lot of people. But bear in mind, right now, there are a lot of Twitter moderators who aren't sure they're going to have a job tomorrow, and so might be a little bit extra petulant. So tread carefully for at least a while there.
Just be patient. It's not like you'll fucking lose anything by waiting.
But there we are. Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and I mean, everything seems to suggest that he's going to be cleaning some serious fucking house, and I hope he is. Like, his goal is to make Twitter profitable, which is going to be difficult enough in and of itself, with its 3,000 employees all eating up a paycheck.
Yep.
This is also a brilliant opportunity, because I think his plan here isn't Twitter. I think his plan here is actually that everything platform he was talking about. Because he is now in a position to do what Origin should have done, but failed to do for the PC gaming market in the digital sphere. Like, remember when Origin first came out? There was a lot of talk about maybe Origin will move away from the physical price point. Like, everything costs $60, $70. Maybe Origin would be like, no. We're selling a digital product for a digital market. Obviously, we're not going to charge full price. And a lot of people were also talking about how if they did that, we'd probably see a pretty significant move towards Origin, because cheaper products. Now, they wouldn't be able to offer us deep discounts as Steam, obviously, but even so, they had an opportunity there to really go and push change in the market, but they pussied out, and Origin is now a forgotten secondary platform, only used when you have no other choice.
Mm-hmm. Origin. I believe EA's pulled the plug on Origin. I think they're switching to a new platform in the process of it.
No, it's dead.
I don't think it's dead. Like, you still use Origin, but I believe EA is doing something new. There might be a new thing.
Dead. It's operational, but it's dead.
Yeah, they're not supporting it anymore. Like, they're maintenance. They're running maintenance and trying to transition people over to a new thing. And you also notice that EA has actually come back to Steam, which, if I remember right, the whole thing boiled down to Steam. Was it Steam stepped on their toes and forced them to do a sale even though they didn't want to, or something like that? I can't remember, but it was basically something like that sparked an issue where EA's like, nope, we're out.
We can do it better than you, except you can't. Because again, here's the problem: if you try to compete with Steam on being Steam, you're not going to win. Like, you've got to do something different. Like, Epic, for all of its many faults, is at least doing something different.
Yep, I think Origin succeeded in the end. Not the project itself, but it succeeded in innovation. Because Origin's existence sparked Steam to innovate and actually clean up their act a lot more.
That is true. Origin's failure has improved Steam markedly.
It wasn't necessarily the failure. It was the fact that Steam got worried. They're like, competitor. And it's EA. Because we got to remember, at the time period, EA was still in their golden age. The idea that EA makes bad games was kind of a foreign concept for a long time. Now that's just the norm. And back then it was like, oh shit, it's EA. Like, they always fucking sell gold. They make fucking a fortune. Their resources and the assets they have are legendary. You know, can't say the same anymore today, but
now they're begging Microsoft to buy them.
Yep.
Because please, money.
Isn't that funny though? EA was like the Titan. Like, their game, you'd see their logo on a game, like, you'd be like, oh, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be, at least it's gonna be guaranteed to be worth playing. Nowadays, you see the logo on something, I don't think that at all. I'm like, oh shit, It might be a train wreck.
But we might be heading towards a brighter future now, Carl. Like, I hope the whole Twitter thing works out. I really do, because I'd like to one social media site. That'd be nice. Oh, speaking of social media as well, on the topic of keeping your N-bombs in their cradles for the time being, I'll send you the link there, Carl.
Let's take a squeak.
There is a better opportunity to let them fly, gentlemen, because very soon, Wakanda Forever is going to start coming out. Just a thought. And I must say, this little article there from Browning into Comics has me very conflicted, because on the one hand, I couldn't care less about Black Panther or the universe or Wakanda or any of this shit. I watched the first one when it came out on streaming services. Didn't like it particularly. Like, it wasn't a particularly good superhero movie, frankly. But I'm to go to watch it on the opening weekend is an action of anti-blackness. And I must say, that's a good sales pitch right there. That is a very good sales pitch. You almost had me ordering tickets for the cinema there. So close. So close. Well played.
I don't think it's going to do well. Everything Marvel has done now, Marvel is kind of like EA. We just mentioned them. Like, for a while there, Marvel put their stamp on things, and it was guaranteed to be gold. Now, they put their stamp on something, it's guaranteed to be a train wreck. It's like that Morbid Time meme. Like, everything is just a disaster and how bad it is.
Marvel 2 is over now because they're not making superhero movies anymore. Oh, and on that point too, I think DC is actually making a little bit of a resurgence. Like, I've heard very mixed things about The Rock, the movie, also known as Black Adam, but apparently he's been fighting tooth and nail to bring Henry Cavill back into the DC universe, which is very interesting. And as a bit of an aside here, another interesting thing is, I'll send you another article, Cavill has announced that he is quitting The Witcher after Season 3.
What was the decision behind that? God damn it. I
Exactly.
didn't
Like
mean to move
it
that
sounds like
there.
he's secured another meal ticket to me.
It's okay. Hey, don't worry about it, chat. Did you just show us stuff? It's like, no, technically not. You didn't see anything sensitive.
Yes, chat, I do know he's also announced that he's back at DC, but that's apparently also been disconfirmed by other DC employees. So it's a little bit up in the air, but clearly Cavill thinks he's back. Otherwise, surely he wouldn't quit a paying job at Netflix. You know, seems weird.
There's a plan. There's no reason why he would do that unless there was guaranteed certainty. Unless he's very bold.
Potentially. Now, whether or not he can really do anything with Superman, I don't know. Like, he did an amazing job with Geralt. Like, incredible job. But he was just absolutely screwed with the Superman plot lines. Like, Superman was just not written well, or as Superman at all, frankly. So, I'll have to wait and see.
There's a thing in the actor community where it's like, don't do superhero movies.
Yep.
Because
the thing is, though, like,
sabotage your career.
Honestly, you can do superhero movies, but we need to go back to making fucking superhero movies.
No,
like, I am
we gotta
so
have
sick of
superheroes
making
be evil. That's the new trope.
I know, and I hate it. Like, I swear to God, if they brought back Henry Cavill, just rebooted Superman, because it's fuck the current Superman. Fuck it. Like, current Superman is built from the ground up to be that kind of gritty, retarded thing where it's shot in that camera style with the gamma turned way the fuck down, where every scene just looks cold and dark and gritty.
Yeah, have you seen the trope where Hollywood how Hollywood portrays whether something's in Mexico or not, or where it is? They put a filter on it. If it's in Mexico, It's got like a green sort of like filter over everything or something like that. It's great.
I fucking hate it. We need to go back. Here, I'll send you another picture. So, my probably favorite Superman show ever was Lois and Clark. Lois and Clark was it was focused more almost on the lives of Lois Lane and Clark Kent than it was Superman. Now, Superman, of course, did shit, but the other characters were almost as important. And it was incredibly optimistic, and it was incredibly bright and neat and shiny, and it had a great deal of humor. It didn't take itself too seriously. It knew that it was doing Superman. And Superman is the Boy Scout. Like, he's the good guy superhero. If you want dark and gritty shit, you pop on over to fucking Batman, not this guy. They should just reboot him and do Superman. Really, the marketing scheme should basically be just trashing their old shit. Seriously, take the piss out of every old DC production. Make fun of yourself. It'll gain you tons of points. And go like, we don't care about gritty Superman no more. Superman is Superman again. Like, play that up to the max. And I guarantee you're going to have a massive PR hit.
What they could do is they could start like a Superman storyline where he meets like a sort of gritty, dark Superman who's like, I've given up. And he's like, oh, you're a loser. And then he just keeps going.
Exactly. Like, Superman just barely go like, no. You see Superman do the killing snappy neck of Krypton dude person whose name I forget already. And instead of that, you just cut to like Superman walking in on screen, like shaking his head at this, like, no. Like, I'd never do that. I'd find a way because that's who I am.
Oh, like, you know what that could be? It could be like a scene of like them on set. Like they're filming a movie about him and he's like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. And then point fun of it. Yeah, that'd be a great way to twist that.
Absolutely.
They should hire us.
That's what they need to get back to. Like, just super effing heroes again. Like, every time we talk about this, I bring up the Iron Man movies because it's the perfect example. Iron Man 1, lots of Iron Man, cool movie. Everybody hated the ending because the random other Iron Man was like, Tony, I was always evil. You can tell because I'm bald.
I'm an evil guy. And it's like, oh, nobody cares. Like, the first 2/3 of Iron Man are fucking gold. The last arc with the main villain, who's just boring, is like, go away. You're literally a waste of space. More
And
of
then in
that.
Iron Man 2, we got less Iron Man.
Oh.
And people started disliking it.
Iron Man
And then
3,
in Iron Man 3, we have barely any Iron Man, and people really hated it.
but we get whiny, mopey Iron Man. It's like, oh, my suits. I'm gonna destroy all my suits to show my commitment to my girlfriend. And it's like,
I hated that scene so much. It's like, oh, Iron Man's destroying Iron Man. Fucking great.
yeah, but see, it
That's
shows
what I wanted to see.
that the suit was actually just a crutch, and that it was his spirit that was, the real Iron Man. It's like, oh, I hate that sort of storytelling. It's like, so you just blew up all those suits because to show some sort of weird display that you're committed to your relationship now. That is so shallow and stupid.
They should have had a random henchman walk on screen and just shoot Tony as he's unarmored. Like, I got him, I got him.
I mean, it would be fair. Like, he did get him.
He did. So the Witcher is dead, as far as I'm concerned. The Witcher is fucking taught at this point. They're gonna replace him with Liam Hemsworth, who is most well known for being married to Miley Cyrus and being the baby brother of Chris Hemsworth, Thor. And yeah, that's about his only claim to fame, actually. He also looks like a bit of a woman.
You're probably right, but you never. Sometimes an actor can surprise, but I wouldn't get your hopes up.
True, but here. I
like to root for the underdog, but sometimes they just, fall short.
Here you go. Our next Geralt.
Wow, he does look like a younger version, though. It's like
the problem is he looks. No, it's gonna be like Spartacus. Like they brought in that guy to replace the original Spartacus, and he didn't do a bad job, but he wasn't the original. He wasn't Spartacus, and this is gonna be the exact same. Like this guy is gonna have to act his fucking pants off to even stand a chance.
Mm-hmm. He's got to really fucking knock it out of the park. And sometimes actors like that, if given the opportunity to shine, really do shine and surprise us all. But
maybe like the
knows?
fucker who played the Joker, like that long-haired bitch from A Knight's Tale.
Oh, you're talking about Phoenix. What's his nuts? He played the Emperor.
Am I talking about Phoenix?
Right? You're talking about the Joker, aren't you?
You're being stupid, Kyle. No, Heath Ledger. That was who? Heath Ledger.
You're talking about Heath Ledger. We got to be like the other Batmans, the one with fucking the other dude. Oh my god, names are hard. Yeah, Heath Ledger.
To be fair,
he was good, but he died.
Knight's
sadly.
Tale was actually kind of cool. Like I actually like that movie because it's kind of stupid. Oh, but yeah, he was absolutely an enormous surprise. It isn't impossible, but I very much so.
Heath Ledger's pretty good, and the other actor who played, he's dead. But the guy who recently did the Joker movie, Joaquin Phoenix, is fucking.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah. To be fair,
incredible.
that was also a lot. Like that was a perfect match between director and actor. Like, I swear to God, every fucking scene where he's on, it makes me uncomfortable. Like, it's perfect acting.
Yep. In Gladiator, he was actually really good there, too. When he was younger. He comes across as like, oh, he's fucked up. Like, he's just not a good guy. Like, he's really good at playing the villain.
Yep, he is. Alright, to move on from the television thing, which spun off a talk about Twitter some fucking how.
And that's okay. This is like a podcast, so, it's called the ArchCast, so you barch.
Yes, that's true. Also, one final thing. Final thing. Just to kind of show the rise and fall of Twitter.
Alright, let's take a look. You could do anything on 2007, 2012 Twitter. I showed up people I showed people how to cook crack and DA microwaves. You know that happened. Now I can't even call a fat bitch fat. And there's a fucking smiling face in the which just punctuates the whole thing. Coolie, bravo.
Yep. See, Twitter used to be actually kind of cool. Like, the internet used to be kind of cool. And, then we arrived at the current day, and now, God willing, maybe Twitter will be kind of cool again. We'll wait and see. But, right, Victoria 3. Victoria fucking 3. Not as exciting as cooking crack in the microwave, I will say.
That's true.
I imagine relatively few things are, to be entirely fair, but still.
No, Victoria 3, where do we even begin with you? You sad little thing. You fucking little game, you little piece of shit game. I put like 40 hours into that cunting thing, mind you. Oh,
I know, you little simp.
Oh, it's been pain. I've gotten to the year 1910, and it just gets progressively, like, there are so many little things. Like, anytime it's like, oh, I invented baking powder. Well, let me just open up my fucking cunting factory tab and tell the factories to use baking powder because they're too fucking stupid to do it themselves. Oh, we have railways. Oh, let me just open up then and fucking assign every factory that can use the railways because they're too goddamn retarded to use the railways. Or it's like, oh, we invented fucking dreadnoughts. We should really stop producing fucking God knows what. What are you sending me?
There, Kyle. I found a tiny YouTube channel that has covered it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, rude. Why did you send me my own stream?
Because we now have content in the background that's copyright free. Duh.
Oops, I fucked up the intro and actually had the Star Wars thing playing.
Yes, I know. You do that often.
The Star Wars. But fuck this game. Oh my god. Like, there are some good things to say about the game. But as I played the game went out of its way to destroy the good things I had to say about it. I was like, well, the stability's pretty good. It ruined that. By 1910, where's my current campaign as the monarchists of America, the emperor or whatever the fuck of America, who's, mind you, a feminist, by the way. He's just very progressive. Oh, like, the game crashes frequently, and after my flag changed, actually, do you mind if I boot up the game and show chat how borked the game is?
I do mind, Kyle.
You don't want me to show them that? Because the flags are all messed up. Everything's broken.
I wouldn't subject them to that. It's cruel and unusual.
It is. Everything's broken. Like, the flags are broken. Like, you know how the one thing I praise the game for is they have these beautiful things, and I call them cuck flags. When you puppet a nation, they get a little cuckold flag where they're just sad, and their symbol is in the bottom right-hand corner. It's tiny, and then there's your big symbol above them. Those cuck flags are amazing. Well, if you change your government to something that's very weird, like becoming a monarchist, United States of America, becoming I don't even remember what the hell they called it, something retarded, the Archduchy, or the Archdukey, or whatever, I don't remember, some gay name. It ruins the flags. Like, all the flags are broken. Like, the Puppet of Siam, white flag. Japan, they have a blue and red flag. I don't even know, what is the blue and red flag? Like, what does blue and red mean in Japan? Like, it doesn't mean anything in the United States, but it certainly doesn't mean anything in Japan.
See, the thing is, they had this cool idea of, like, automatically generated flags, so that you could theoretically have flags for almost any region, should it somehow become a country or something, right? And that sounds neat on paper. And in a better game, this might be a charming quirk of the game. Like, look over there, it's a very stupid flag. But in a piece of shit like this, it's simply yet another thing that doesn't work.
And it breaks. Oh, there's so many little things I've noticed. Like, when I unlocked trench infantry, and I was like, oh, the art's really cool. It shows like a line of trench infantry, like, firing their guns in a volley fire, right? And then I looked closer at the art. I was like, wait, that's weird. Why is one of them wearing a pickelhaube? And one of them is wearing like a British helmet. Some of them are wearing like little French hats. And it's just a mishmash. The troops in the artwork are a mishmash of random nationalities firing in a trench line at a random direction. That bothered me, because it's like, They're not Americans. They're not Germans. They're not French. It's just a bunch of dudes.
A little bit of everything, Kyle.
And there's another thing that bothers me, okay? There's the women thing, right? The women's suffrage. All right, chat. I hate to break it to you, but the women's suffrage wasn't about black people. I'm sorry I said it, but, there it is. The fact that the women's suffrage artwork is filled with, like, half of them are black and half of them are white, I was like, no, they were all white. And secondly, like, that wasn't normal back then. Then there's the fucking bigot trait. Don't even get me started. Andrew Jackson has the bigot trait, and it's like, what? Like, that's just a flat negative. It's like, no, that wouldn't be a negative. If you want to have a bigot or progressive trait, the bigot trait should give you positive relations with people of a certain ideology. People who lean towards abolition might be like, oh, okay, maybe they like that a bit more. But maybe there's some abolitionists who are bigots, or vice versa, to make it a little bit more complex. No, it's just a flat negative. It's just like, oh, there's so many stupid things. And like feminists, It's like, oh, I'm a feminist. Okay, well, wouldn't that have some negative connotations in this period of time? Because this was a time of great change and violence. No,
you'd be viewed quite negatively. Like, being a feminist would get you arrested in certain areas. Like, it'd be viewed as weird and heretical.
Yes, exactly.
Very unwomanly.
And that annoys
But
the
if you
shit
look
out of
at
me.
Abraham Lincoln, all his stats are the best possible stats. He's brave, he's an excellent politician, excellent orator, etc.
Yep. I did get General Lee a few times, and I also got Ulysses S. Grant. I sent him to go fight in Egypt. He had a good time. I do like how you get some of the historical names of actual characters that existed throughout history. I invited one of my Thai artists on, and he was actually commenting on some of the Thai people. Like, they do have some of the names down right, but the problem here is that every nation plays like the same. I've played 40 hours of this cunting game. I played the United States, I played Siam, I played the Austro-Hungarian Empire, or the Austrian Empire, and I played some other country I can't remember off the top of my head. Brazil, that's the one. And you know what? Every single one of them was the exact same. There wasn't a single thing different about them except the journal thing. And even then, that barely mattered. Barely. You can ignore the journal. It doesn't do anything.
It does not.
Also, The puppets are broken as sin. My economy, the United States of America, I control the entire globe, basically. And because I have puppets, I can just set everything to max and just be like, yeah, auto build. Sit back in my chair and go do something else. And my nation will literally put itself from like rank number 5 or 6 to rank number 1. I became the number 1 nation. The game played itself and made me number 1.
And since there's no westernization mechanics, you can't even get a different experience by playing some fuck-off African nation. This is the other thing too. They boosted the stats of every African nations hilariously, to the point where Zululand has 18% literacy rate, Oyo has like 20, and they all start out with all the same factories and buildings that you do.
Mm-hmm. They get the same stuff, and there's no actual penalty too. So they'll catch up in technology very, very quickly. I actually found that very startling when I bumped into some tribals that I accidentally got released because of, cut down to size on Britain. And the tribals, when my army encountered them, there's a picture when you're in the late game where they have siege artillery, and it looks like it's like Siege of Iraq stuff. Like it's a wall of artillery just blowing cannons into the, stratosphere. And it looks super cool. Except I looked at the army, and I looked at the opposing side of tribal monkeys on the other side, and they're using fucking siege artillery on me. And I'm like, what? How do you have siege artillery? This little bumfuck tribe has siege artillery, like, kill me, chat. This is horrible. How did they even produce it? Like, it'd be one thing if the British supplied them, but I don't think so. Oh, what a silly thing.
Everybody's the same. And again, I am 98% sure the game was ruined by ideological subversion paradox. Because you look at it, like, everyone's the same. Where have I heard that before? Or the way that politics work now. In Victoria 2, the Pops acted on the political parties. Like, the Pops created political parties. In Victoria 3, political parties are created at random, and when you research new tech, or you get certain amounts of types of pop caps, and then they act on the Pops, drawing support from the Pops. This also is very modern-day progressive, who believes that your politics acts on you. not that you act on the politics.
Oh man, the fucking the what do you call it? Radical system. So I've tried breaking the radical system in my game, and I got him to like 20 million or something like that, and it did nothing. I switched to Thailand to try to make them do something, and I was able to get it to work in one of the smaller nations, but upon beating the radicals, like, the weird thing that happens is basically you just, the party, whatever party you deal with, it kills the party. Like, the party's gone. Like, I changed the government in Siam to something, and the trade unions were upset, they rebelled, and then they were just gone. Like, I looked in the government, there was a trade union, there wasn't a single trade union character anywhere. They all died. Extinct.
Yeah, and it's because it's not the rebel populace that rebels against you, it's the political party. Like, you could have 2 radicals in your entire nation, and if you piss off the political party enough, they will still rebel. Because it's the party, it's not the pops.
Did you play it all with the Dominion or Puppet system at all?
Little bit. But I got really sick of that fucking video game really quick.
So one thing I found interesting is the Dominions can act independently and puppets cannot. And then you can also become a protectorate of another nation to be protected from bigger nations if they look at you differently. When you play as a smaller nation, like when I played as Brazil, because I was kind of an agitating little piece of shit to America all the time, Russia was like, oh, you're cute and adorable. I want you to be, I'm willing to protect you. And their status went from being, what was it? Like they felt protective of Brazil. Like they needed to protect them from American interests. So that was kind of interesting. There are some things there that are neat, but a lot of them, especially when it comes to the puppet mechanic as a whole, or the Dominion mechanic. Puppets, by the way, chat, are basically the absolute most cucked nation possible. Like, they are just absolutely unable to do anything unless their master tells them to do something or drags them into a war. Dominions can do stuff. They can actually attack and fight wars without getting their master involved in any way. I actually do like the puppet and Dominion system actually being different in that way compared to Hearts of Iron, but what it completely annoys me about that system is the puppet and Dominion relationship system here is completely non-existent. I want to point to a game called Stellaris. Stellaris has problems, yes, but in Stellaris, the new puppet mechanics and systems in that game, you can designate your puppets and your puppet vassal states in that game to be like, all right, I want you to be more like, industrial focused, or you're going to be like the military backbone of our, space hegemon. So you're going to be focusing on military stuff. And like, okay, then the puppet focuses on military stuff, while the other alien race focuses on, mining and resource gathering. And then maybe you got another puppet that focuses on technology and teching. That's cool.
Well,
here,
Kyle,
none of that exists.
I have news for you how that's going to happen, because in Stellaris, that was DLC, Kyle.
I know, but what annoys me is that you have Paradox games that do really cool stuff, and you're like, oh, that's really cool that Stellaris did that, or that Hearts of Iron did this cool infrastructure and logistics system. Wouldn't it be really cool if the project leads talk to each other and be like, hey, we're working on this really cool puppet system, and the Victoria's like, oh, thanks for telling me, that's really interesting, that would work really well in our game. It feels like none of these people talk to each other at all.
I'm sure they talk, Kyle, but again, I remind you, DLC.
I don't want to pay for it. I already paid the money for the game that should have stuff in it to begin with.
That was your mistake now, wasn't it, Kibbers?
Also, the factory thing. I need to stress this, Arch. Anytime you advance the technology, it's like, oh, we have electric trains now, or I have cars now. Now I have to go through every single goddamn factory and set it to firstly, factories start producing cars. Then I have to go to the other things, like, as soon as we have cars, be like, all right, now use cars for motor transportation. And then other factory, you need to use cars too. Other factory, you need to use cars too. And then other factory, you use the railway. I feel like I am the one in charge of the infrastructure of the country, and I'm not in charge of the country. My job is just to tell, busy work, hey, guys, have you considered trying these fucking car things out? They're literally better in every way.
Yes. You're the shift supervisor.
I'm gotta hold their hands. When I look at my little factories and they just look at me like, Kib, help, I don't know how to fucking run my factory. It's like, what do you mean you don't know how to run your factory? Why do I have to tell you how to do everything yourself, you fucking idiots? Just do it. Just do it yourself. Run your own damn factory. I'm tired of holding their hands. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having to be a babysitter. That is
that
is
also
the
want to,
factory
by
game.
the way, I want to encourage everyone, do go and review. It is your
Yes.
duty to review bad games. It has dropped yet another percentage point to 63 now. Everybody who doesn't like Victoria 3, be vocal.
Yep, and if you didn't, let's say you didn't buy the game, you can still help. You can still participate. Go and upvote those negative reviews. Be active. Go into the discussions and forums and be like, you know, I didn't actually end up buying this game, but I really would have bought it if, you know, it wasn't shit. Literally, just say something about it. Like, man, it really sucks that the pop system is so half-assed. Or wouldn't it be cool if the Dominions and puppet mechanics were, you know, fleshed out in any way? Or, you know, maybe the warfare system is a little bit like cancer, and I really just hate doing it. And let's not even get started on naval invasions, okay? Naval invasions are horrible. Even with
Every
landing
naval
craft.
invasion is Normandy, because that's the issue. Naval invasions didn't happen until World War One. Like, we didn't have the fucking tech for it.
It's just not something that really happened, but you can't do it here, and you really can't do it because every area of a country is fucking fortified. In the late game,
Yes.
Italy, okay, so the pariah system, right? The pariah system, everybody will want to cut you down to size. Okay, that makes sense, but here's one of the biggest problems with the pariah system, which is the infamy system from Victoria. You will have nations that will try to cut you down to size that do not have a chance in hell of ever defeating you. Ever. Italy has gone to hundreds of wars with me to try to cut me down to size in that American campaign, and has failed every single time. But because Italy's isolated and isn't reachable from land forces, I have to naval invade them. That is the most awful thing ever. So I have forever wars that happen where the game just these wars never end. They go on for years and years and years, and it isn't until eventually the stars aligned and I can naval invade, or somebody goes to war with them and they get their ass beat. The worst thing ever.
I need to chastise chat here. No, naval invasions didn't happen till World War One. Not contested ones. You know what the Romans did when they invaded Britain? They kept sailing along the coast until they didn't see any fucking Brits. Same when the Normans invaded. They didn't wade off their ships into the enemy and fight a fucking beach battle. They simply moved on over there on a boat.
Yes, it was basically, tactically speaking, suicide for an assaulting force to land their troops in a contested beach. It just did not happen. And even in World War II, casualties are fucking catastrophic. And we got lucky. We did a ton of bullshit to make those attacks work. We did bombardments. We did bombings. We sent in paratroopers behind their lines to mess them up as much as possible. And even then, things didn't go perfect in a lot of places. And could have gotten a lot worse. And we lucked out in Normandy because the Germans didn't think we were actually going to land there. Naval invasions aren't easy. The slightest. Not contested landing invasions.
It is, very, very stupid.
Very
It should be
painful.
ashamed of itself. But it's not going to, because it's already sold, Kyle. Now, here's the thing. Here's the reason why you should still review it, though, because Paradox doesn't sell a title. Chat, are you seriously whatabouting the siege of Troy as contested naval invasions?
God help me. Chad,
You little motherfuckers.
fucking moron.
That's bait. I'm gonna ignore that.
They also did Marathon, mind you. Fucking Marathon.
But, you know, like, because the thing is, Paradox doesn't intend to just sell you Victoria 2. They intend to sell you Victoria 2 plus its 13 expansions and 32 flavor packs. That's why being vocal is important, because you're hurting their long-term profits, their long-term income.
Don't be... The best course of action here is not to be silent. It is not to be disinterested. Because, let's be honest, we all want a good Victoria game. We all deserve a good Victoria game. And the only way we're going to get that is if we actually put in some effort and elbow grease to make that happen. Developers, historically, do give the people what they want, but you need to be vocal, and you need to be persistent, and you need to convince everyone else to be on our side. Don't alienate people. Don't push people away. Convince people, like, why is Victoria 2 better than Victoria 3? And when you start to show these people that are new to this franchise, new to this IP, like, oh yeah, that would be really cool if this game had this. You know what? I'm kind of all for this game getting more detail, more expanse, because they have nothing to lose being on our side. Nothing to lose, but everything to gain.
Yep. Next up, we will move on over to another game that we get to download very, 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 very soon.
All right, which one? Send me a link.
One mass. But first, let me move through these super chats that have been backing themselves up a little bit. Jägerant says, hello, Archlander. Thank you. Kibbs Feminine. Yes.
Wow.
Which one of you forgot that switch to winter time is tomorrow night? Kib.
You can't. I can't schedule the streams. You're
Kib,
the one who schedules. You schedule. You fucked up the time. Don't fucking fight it, Arch. I own up to my mistakes. It's only fair that you do the
fucking lie.
That's not
a dirty fucking lie.
That's not a lie.
Dirty fuck. You don't get. No, you can't guilt me like I own up to. No, you don't.
I do.
No,
I do.
No.
Maybe
bad.
No, maybe
bad.
not on the day of those mistakes, but the day after when I feel bad about it.
Zontar says, reminder, must spend 100 million on lawyers trying to avoid buying it. And he and the hedges are currently down 32 to 34 billion on this acquisition now. Well, he spent 100 million trying to draw out the information that he was seeking. And again, 100 million and a 34 billion buyout, a fucking jump change. But again, here's the thing. Elon isn't buying Twitter because he knows it's going to be profitable. He's buying Twitter because he knows it's going to be societally profitable. This places Elon in a position to make the news, to set precedents, to steer the cultural conversation. Like he has an enormous amount of influence now. And for a person who is basically going to eventually try and launch his own YouTube, that is incredibly powerful. Not to mention the political connections. Here's the thing. I'm still pretty damn sure that the Trumpolophagus would have won that last fair and open election, YouTube. Don't take me down. Which tells you everything you need to know about that part too. But I think he's still going to do it. Like I'm optimistic. We'll see. Maybe. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to sink, and it's going to be hard to make profitable, but I have hope. I'm a positive person with a positive mindset. John McKenna says, Terra Invicta, buy now or wait. Delicious chocolate waifus are best waifus. Correct. Honestly, there's no reason not to pick up Terra Invicta right now, because here's the thing. Terra Invicta is one of those early access games that does early access right, in that they're not really planning any different features. The game is feature complete. The only thing they're planning is balance changes, tweaks and nerfs to certain things, boosts to other things, and they're planning to add in more ways to view what is going on with the world, such as, the effect of climate change, the effect of nukes on the world, etc. More ways to interact with the game. But they're not planning any other features. Like, Terra Invicta now is going to be the same Terra Invicta when it launches into full game. And it's a very, very good game. It is incomparable to European Universalis 3. Like, I made like a 40-minute review on that game, just talking mechanics the entire fucking time. It's great. And best part, we're gonna do a video on it, stream on Tuesday on Kyle's little backwards ass tiny channel.
Racist.
You can find it under small YouTube channels. It's a special tab.
Yes.
Nipples.
Barch will be showing me how to play Terra Invicta. He's actually very excited to teach me how to play the game.
And I will say this: there's another reason why you should start playing now, and that's that it's. Let me see here. I've got 77 hours in the game. I still don't know how to play it.
Well, at least you tried. You said, hold on, wait a minute. You was like, oh, Kibbs, I see you got that gifted to you. And then he rubs his little greasy fingers again. I wouldn't mind helping to show you how to play it. Meanwhile, on this stream, I have no idea how to play, to be honest with you.
I'm at this point, I've figured out most of it, but like it has so many mechanics, and it does need better UI elements, because that is the thing that they're going to work on in early access, and it is something they need to work on in early access, because the UI, not great. Not great. It does the job, but it doesn't give you enough information, and it gets really fucking cluttered at times. The research UI is particularly poor.
Yeah, but those things hopefully can be polished with simply just, all the mechanics are there. Just clean up the organization.
I wish my primary complaint about Victoria 3 was that the UI was kind of bad.
The problem is there's too much fucking crap on the UI. Too many buttons. And honestly, all the buttons I don't want to press anymore. Like, I'm so sick of those goddamn factories. Like, just take care of yourself.
That gets real... See... Originally, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. You can set the produce for the factories, and the profit margin varies depending on how easy they've got access to resources. That's a pretty cool little simulation aspect. And yeah, in a Victoria game, that could be a cool optional aspect. But in 3, where you have to do it, you get really sick of going like. You've got like 20 paper factories. Oh god, 1, click. Are you profitable? No, click. 2, click. Are you profitable? Yes, click. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, the factories need to take care of themselves. I do not want to baby every goddamn factory. And then also, every time I research a new tech, instead of me going like, yay, I've unlocked, fucking tractors, I'm like, fuck, I need to go through all my factories and tell them to use tractors.
Yep. And if you actually want to try, you then got to go to the trade market and see, oh, okay, is anybody selling tractors for cheap?
Listen, I got to the point where I've abused the puppet system because you get part of the revenue or whatever, that I make so much money. I went to so many wars and I have trade ports in almost every country. I make like 400,000 fucking pounds or whatever. The white bar for the economy button, when I put my mouse over it, anytime there's like a divot, I can see the bar reappear onto the monitor. But it's so fucking high up into the stratosphere that it broke the UI.
Yep.
Oh, you can break the economy in that.
There's also really easy ways to fuck over the AI too via trade deals, because you buy all of their raw resources and then you make all of the stuff they need after that, and then you sell it back to them.
Because they can't produce their own guns or anything. Oh, thank you for the guns. It's just like, yeah, no problem, dumbass.
And the thing is, the beautiful thing is, the prices increase simultaneously. So you buy up all of their iron, but they need iron themselves to make the guns, okay? So the price of iron increases in their market. But since iron is still just as scarce as ever, they still don't have enough iron for guns. And so the price on guns increase as well.
Yep.
And so you just keep charging them more and more because you keep sucking out all of their fucking resources.
Oh my god. I will say this about Victoria 3, though. It is, I think, one of the better Paradox games when it comes to peacetime. As in, there's a lot of things to consider in peacetime when it comes to laws, institutions, government stuff, elections. Problem is all these things are cool, but they don't really work as well as they should. At all.
And most of them are simple button clicks rather than being things that happen.
Yep. I do like the idea that when you try to get a law, you have to get it elected and pass through, run through, so to speak, the system. That I do like.
And it has lots of little events that are like, plus minus. I like that too.
Oh my god. So the Civil War thing finally happened. Did you rebuild your country after that?
No, I never got it.
Okay, so the Civil War is gay, and here's why. After you complete the Civil War, you then get a series of pop-ups that never end until 8 years have passed, so the country is finally rebuilt. And they're just annoying. It's like another pop-up. And I'm like, I'm not sure if these pop-ups make the Civil War, the recovery go faster. Because, like, unlike expeditions, there's like, okay, there's chance for this expedition to succeed. Or this is going to slow down the expedition time, but it does this. The recovery of the United States after the Civil War is, this does positive with these guys, negative with these guys. It has no effect on the recovery speed of the nation. So you have to wait 8 counting years. And what feels like every month, you get 2 of those pop-ups. And that becomes a very long series of, oh God, there's those pop-ups again. With the same options.
More pop-ups.
Ah! Yeah, no, fuck that. That was dumb. That was stupid.
Sir George says that the Robocop remake was an absolute abomination. You lie, good sir. You lie, you speak falsehoods. It was kind of cute, because he had this weird, like, helmet that was kind of smooth and shit, and then he shot people, because he has, like, infrared vision. And I don't remember anything else about it. But that was pretty neat.
What are you talking about? Smooth helmets?
Robocop.
Oh, Robocop is cool. It's weird, but it's cool.
See?
He doesn't
Everybody
have a
likes
smooth
it.
helmet. He also doesn't have emotions because he's very robotic. He's a Robocop. Oh no, he does have emotions. It's very slow at showing them. I remember some of the movies. Some of them are really bad though. Oh, those 2000s movies. Those are pain.
What a foolish kid. Mark James says, should remaster Red Alert 2 with Mental Omega mod. Should remaster Red Alert 2.
No, Red Alert 2 with Year's Revenge. Mental Omega. Fuck Mental Omega. Here's why. Mental Omega level designers are like, you know what's the worst part about Red Alert 2 and Year's Revenge? The stealth missions. How about we do the stealth missions and we hide stuff around the trees and the tree textures? That's clever game design, isn't it? You just couldn't see it, therefore you're bad. It's like, oh my god, developer, let me just grab your, and there's your neck. It's just gone. Fuck you. The Mental Omega is a really cool mod, but I really don't like their stealth levels. Those things are fucking awful. They can die.
If you weren't bad at a game, Kyle, it wouldn't be a problem, Kyle.
Oh, I know you. I know how you'd react if you played those. I know you.
Perfect calm, because I'm not a...
There wouldn't be any calm. There would be Bart sitting there, his little blonde face turning red.
They released another chapter of the manga where a person summons a boat and lives in an isekai. I might have to read this instead of working for a bit.
Ah, man, we do need a Red Alert 2
Gross
remaster.
silence.
No, it's true. Red Alert 2.
Stefan Knisek says, funniest thing about Victoria 3 is that they could have just taken Vicky 2, upgraded graphics, maybe added new features or tweaks, and they'd be making Skyrim remastered levels of bank. So disappointed. Well, I wouldn't have minded if they had maybe, like, I can't see. Just make a combat system that's not bad. That's what I would like. And I know it's not going to happen, but it is what I would like for it to happen. I would enjoy it. Soul the Lich says, real cat trap IQ memento. Carl didn't get the joke quickly enough for chat.
Oh my god, it's not that I didn't get the joke, it's that I thought it was dumb and I was hoping I was wrong. I was hoping that I
Mark
did
Duchesne
have...
says,
Oh, whatever.
expansion ideas for Terra Invicta. Play as the aliens. No. 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 No.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that. That's very heretical. Chat, execute him.
No, the aliens need to be an inscrutable menace. Like, the less you know about them, the better.
That's true. You know what they
Your
could
choices
do?
for alien factions are on how to handle humans, extermination, expulsion, enslavement, invasion, integration, influence, immigration. Arch and Kibbles choose one. I get what you're saying, but no.
I have a better idea. You know what they should do instead? You start a game and you get your choice of what kind, or you get, it's a random selection of alien types they create. That, like, pre-made alien races that might invade. And that
I would
way
actually
each time's
love
random.
to have different alien races. That would be kind of cool, because you'd have no idea what you were fucking dealing with until you'd caught and shot one or something.
That will make each replay like a unique thing. Like, they could have one alien race, kind of like the fucking Borg. They could have one like the Tyranids. They could have one like the Necromorphs. That are like, I don't know. I'm just making shit up, Chad. They could be like Zerg or Protoss or whatever. They could be anything. And it could be completely unique on how to encounter and what their, like, core mechanics are.
Yes, that would be really cool, because that would actually add a lot of different playstyles to the game.
I do like that.
Stefan Knizek says, I dare Barch to tweet, learn to code, as I have. Well, problem is, they probably do know how to code, seeing as still not working at Twitter. Learn to fry, it would be a better one, because like McDonald's need help, though.
You know, it's true. I did see across the street when I was back in my hometown that the McDonald's over there is hiring. So there are open positions waiting for a new fry cook.
Absolutely. Like, there's a lot of good openings there. And Stephen Nizigal says, aside from Leto, is there a bad Joker actor? Yes, the one in the television show.
Which television show?
The one from, like, the 60s.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I remember seeing clips of that. That that looks special.
Also, the guy in the modern television show wasn't great either, but he wasn't awful, I guess, but he wasn't great either. Right, so that's most of the ones we had up until that point, so let's go on. Let me just actually check the Super Steam. Yep, there was one. I knew it. I'd forgotten about that one. Gunfox says, Arch, the trolls were great. Elon, a joke was great. Kib, you fucking Canadian muppet. God, Arch, there really is no hope, Kibbs. Kibbs, you must be a furry pug.
He's still coping and seething because I burned him.
He's a furry pug.
But not a
All
pug.
pugs are usually furry, to be fair.
Well, that's because they're dogs.
Puggles is pretty cute. But yes, The Witcher. The Witcher 1 remake, Kyle. You're going to have to play it.
I smell disaster. Why is that?
Because The Witcher 1's combat system was remarkable in many ways.
Oh, that game. No, wait, no. That looked awful. That actually looked genuinely awful.
I played The Witcher 1's demo years and years and years ago when it first came out, and I remember the combat system. I don't even remember how it works, but I remember my feeling to it as I sat there and just like, what the fuck is this?
Who thought this was a good idea? If I remember right, you click to attack every time. It's weird because it plays like, it looks like Knights of the Old Republic. I watched one of my programmers play it on his channel and stream it, and I was like, wait, is that like Knights of the Old Republic? And then, but no, it isn't. Like, you have to click and then you change your attack things. It's weird. And the game doesn't look good. And the story certainly isn't worth remastering for. The story is, by God, honestly, just boring.
The Witcher 1, unironically, has basically a rhythm game combat system.
Yeah, it's fucking
very
weird. It doesn't... You know what it needs? I mean, the thing is, here. Looking at the cover here, it says remake. So they're remaking it from the ground up. Resident Evil 2 was a remake, so maybe they'll... The problem is Witcher 3's combat system is also not very good. It's very basic. Like, Witcher 3's combat system is serviceable, but it's not good.
It's good you mentioned that, Kyle, because they've said specifically that The Witcher 1 will be a modern remake for a modern audience.
There are going to be random black people everywhere.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of black people in The Witcher remake. There's going to be, and there's already been articles writing like, Witcher 1 remake would be cool, but it has one problematic feature. Because in Witcher 1, when you broke a bitch down in the fields and, played Hide the Sausage, you would get a card with a scantily clad image of the woman. That's very problematic, Kyle.
We can't have naked women, sis. They belong in hijabs, you see.
It treats women's like object, Kyle. Which confuses me. Like, what else are you supposed to treat them like? Property, I guess?
I mean, I'm certainly not people.
Yeah, like, what? Seriously, what are our options here? Come on.
What are you doing, developer? Are you trying to say that they're people? Get out. Okay.
Yeah, that feature is going to go the way of the dodo. I can pretty much guarantee that. That's not going to be in the remake.
What else do you think?
I'd be surprised if there was any sex scenes in the remake.
They did have sex stuff in the Witcher 3 game, didn't they? And they had
Yeah,
sex
but that was
stuff-
still before the ESG score moved in. And that's the thing too.
Hmm.
The Witcher 1 remake, that is not a company that's going to be trying to like test what works and what doesn't, because CD Projekt Red isn't in that position yet. Like this isn't Dead Space remake where they're trying to kind of go back to their roots. This is going to be ESG score bait, where they're going to farm this out to a different company so they don't have to do it themselves, and it's just going to be free ESG points. Like diversity.
Oh, you're probably right. Because in the case, and that's an excellent example. The Witcher series isn't technically dead franchise-wise because their games are actually selling pretty well. The Dead Space
Witcher
franchise
series is very
is
alive.
dead. So the remakes are very different here. Witcher's remake is not necessarily trying to reinvigorate the franchise. It's merely there in the same way Warcraft 3 was there, to be that little thing on the pat on the back, so to speak. This will look good for our investors. This will look good for the ESG people. Versus the Dead Space remake is, baby, come back. They're looking for their fans.
Yep. Now, CD Projekt Red is in a bit of an interesting position because they lost a tremendous amount of good faith with Cyberpunk 2077. Now, they've managed to earn some of that back via their cooperation with Studio Trigger and continuously patching the game. If Phantom Liberty is good, and it needs to be very, very good, because as much as Edgerunners kind of helped Cyberpunk's reputation, it also placed the bar very high for Phantom Liberty. And in that case, they need to get back to basics with Cyberpunk 2, which they're already planning, and they're not planning any further DLC for 2077. Like, they've thrown that corpse on the pile, and they're going to try and see if they can reinvigorate it with 2. But The Witcher is fine. Like, The Witcher's doing great. Like, The Witcher does not have that problem yet. But it will.
Every year.
Because that's what happened with ESG School.
Every year, The Witcher 3, Ultimate Collection, whatever the heck it is, the Grand Edition, sells pretty well. And still does pretty well. Not to mention their silly little stupid card game. Fucking hate card games. But that apparently did pretty well, too. So...
Oh, yeah, it did.
Like, the franchise is still selling. Now, they probably want to dip back into that franchise and make more money out of it. But what's always funny to me, when it comes to this whole Witcher thing, like, oh, we're making a bunch of new Witcher games, is like, you said you were done. Now, we all knew they were lying, let's be honest.
That was before CD Projekt Red, before Cyberpunk 2077 carved out $1 million hole in their market.
Like
it's a crater.
What happened? It's gone. It's all gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think
so. The Witcher 1 remake, as far as they're concerned, it's just quick and easy money.
Yep. I wonder if who's gonna handle this, because with Warcraft 3 the problem is Blizzard handed it off to a Chinese studio and was like, okay, it'll be done, it's gonna be cheap, nice, easy, all they have to do is just simply make Warcraft 3 but re-release it, and you know what, that's pretty easy. And they didn't expect the Chinese studio to underdeliver so poorly they didn't know what to do. Like, I know Blizzard was absolutely fucking jaw-dropped when they finally received what they had paid for. Like, uh-oh, we're going to burn. And then they did. They better... I wonder if they're going to hand it off to another, little crummy studio. Or do you think they're going to handle it on their team?
They are. We know already. They are handing it off to a second-hand studio that they worked with before, so they're not shipping it off to China, at least.
Okay, so they have a reputation. Maybe it's a DLC studio, because sometimes those DLC companies that make expansions aren't too bad. Sometimes they're even better. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. The Witcher 3. It'll be the last good Witcher game. I'll make that prediction right now. We're not going to get any more. And hopefully, Witcher Season 3 will have people go like, oh, that's pretty cool, let's be excited. And then Season 4 with Babyface drops alongside the remake or something, and then The Witcher just dies. And CD Projekt Red is nothing more than a smoking crater in Poland somewhere.
The desire to watch CDPR burn for what they've done. For too long have they sat on their golden little goose, chat. It's time for them to pay. EA burned. Blizzard burned. Now it's their turn at the chopping block. No one's safe.
Absolutely. See, we need new heroes. That's what we need. We need to burn the old and adopt new good games, developers and publishers. That's what we need.
Yeah, people like the Terra
Put
Invicta
Paradox
guys.
on the pile and give their seat to the people making Terra Invicta. There you go.
Now, Terra Invicta, you need to make a Victoria-style game. Like, but we want to make about aliens. I don't care. The aliens can be the colonial dudes invading.
Yeah, you can make a game about the aliens next time. You promise? No.
No.
Speaking of, Goldhawk Interactive, Xenonauts 2, could you fuckers stop being lazy monkeys and finish the fucking game?
That's true. I'm actually looking forward to Xenonauts 2. Every time I get this hankering to think about XCOM, I'm like, oh, yeah, what's that Xenonauts game? And I go and check out Xenonauts 2 store page. I'm like, this looks really cool. I want to play this. Like, one day, you know, maybe before I'm dead. But, you know, maybe we'll get it. You know, Kerbal Space Program's coming, so maybe the world's healing. I don't know. Hey, KSP2 doesn't look too bad.
Day.
Looks pretty cool.
You've had a bad day.
Yeah. Not as bad as the day when we're going to send those Kerbals into space, but yeah.
We'll wrap it up with something uncharacteristic for this channel. I've sent you another article there. I don't tend to deal in just rumors because a lot of this is frankly just made up by YouTubers for fucking clicks half the time. I'll be so blatant as to say it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I want this one to be true. And I have heard from someone I know is inside Amazon at least, and a little bit more in the know that suggests the same thing, so we'll talk about it. So there is a rumor that Amazon is reconfiguring the Lord of the Rings of Power crew quite drastically as well. Now, there's a bunch of problems here, because this is actually a fairly complicated legal position that Amazon finds themselves in. The Rings of Power has become a bit of a, well, straight up a legal liability, frankly, because, one, they can't merchandise it. I know this for a fact. They had plans to merchandise it, but after the failure of the TV show, the Tolkien estate suddenly realized, hold on, this makes us look like we're fucking our grandfather's corpse in the ass. It's not a good look, is it? Maybe, maybe we shouldn't allow Amazon to, you know, drag his desiccated body through the streets yet further with fucking t-shirts going, I'm a black elf.
I'm a belf. You know, this could be a good wake-up call. And this is why, chat, when we say you should be loud and vocal, this is exactly why. Because people were loud and vocal. And so loud that they couldn't shut out the noise. This is why it's important to always voice your opinion. Even if you don't think it matters, your voice adds to a chorus.
Because it seems as if Amazon had plans for a whole merchandising line. Because obviously, like, TV shows and movies don't earn the big bucks no more. It's merch. That's what you fucking need. But all of this just stopped as they went to the estate and went like, okay, well, you know, can we have the rights for this? And they said no. And they even went so far as to say that you don't have the rights for a bunch of things. So there's even a little bit of an inkling going around that the estate might be considering wider legal action, because as we now know, the TV show takes liberties well beyond its actual legal remits. There's a very complicated situation going on there. And this has caused a lot of people not in the Amazon leadership, but investors, marketing experts, the other people putting their cash into Amazon to start asking a lot of questions, because Amazon has not been doing very well. Like, the Rings of Power has been an enormous blow to Amazon's profitability and their the amount of money they thought they'd be making. I mean, they bet the future of Amazon Studios on this.
Good. Fuck them. I think we can all say that this is a good thing. But it's also important to remember that this will not be the last time. Even if this is the biggest fuck up, possible, they will try again. And this is only the beginning of them to continue to attempt to hijack something. Whether it's Rings of Power or, who knows, Star Wars one day when Amazon gets their hands on that.
There's the big thing, because here's another thing as well. What can Amazon actually do? Because the showrunners claim that they have been contracted for 5 seasons. So if Amazon is trying to do stuff, what can they do? What can't they do? I've also been told, apparently, that the Rings of Power production team ran their own personal fucking fiefdom. Like, they were given a blank check by Bezos to do anything, to hire anyone in any way whatsoever, and the rest of Amazon had basically no idea what was going on. This has caused a bit of an investor revolt, as they're now looking at this and going like, well, this was shit. You just flushed my money down the toilet. We're not accepting this again. And there are many little things, like the Amazon production has moved to London instead of New Zealand, for example. The budget has been scaled down, and now there are rumors about the showrunners being sidelined or even straight up fired. God, I hope it's true. Because the thing is, too, I can absolutely see why. Because if I was, a billionaire, which I wish, and I'd put $1 billion into fucking Amazon, and then I see Amazon produce a piece of shit show, one of the worst pieces of television ever produced, and they did so with a pair of showrunners who had nothing more impressive to their names than secondary writing credits on a Game of Thrones episode, I'd be asking some pretty fucking tough questions right about now.
Yeah, because how did this occur? There was some sort of mistake or some sort of arrogant, mindset that led to overlooking this. Because if it were our baby, if it were our project or our investment, Arch, would you not look into who we're hiring to do this, a little bit? Like, what's their reputation? Like, let's look at their portfolio. Like, there's clearly no thought put in here. Either there was some connections, backroom deals made, or something that allowed this to occur. But that's worthy of looking into, too, because, like, of all the people to hire for a Middle-earth themed TV show, you would think it would be nothing but the most, well-known people. Now, to credit, Peter Jackson, what was he known for before he did Lord of the Rings? Not a whole lot. In fact, I think he did some, like, B-movie stuff, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I don't remember Peter Jackson's name being super big until the Lord of the Rings.
And because here's the thing, though. Peter Jackson wasn't known for anything else, and then he was declared a genius after the Lord of the Rings. But what did Peter Jackson actually do with the Lord of the Rings? He simply just made the Lord of the Rings. That's it.
And actually, if you watch the creator stuff, because I've watched through the creative things, and they talk about it, and they're like, yeah, no, we just wanted to make it like Lord of the Rings. We wanted to make it like as close to Tolkien's book as we possibly could. And they understood that while the Lord of the Rings movies are great, they're not accurate to the books. In fact, there's a lot of areas where they miss a lot of beats. But they're still the best Lord of the Rings movies we'll probably ever get. Ever. Yeah.
And it is simply just the story of the books, retooled a bit here and there to save on time, etc. Because a lot of the story beats were actually filmed, but the movies were already long, etc., etc. And they skipped over them. And some things they added in as well because they thought it was better, like elf chick with the horses in the water and shit like that,
I wasn't a big fan of that because I felt very girl bossy, but there were some good things. Like all the little things, even like the little touches at the end. The songs at the end. My favorite was Two Towers. If you watch the end credits, you'll hear Smeagol's song. And Smeagol's song is very sad and it's very good. You should actually go and look it up if you've not listened to it. Because it's in the credits and you can listen to it. It's very beautiful.
And the thing is, that's all the Rings of Powers needed to do. They pick one of Tolkien's stories and then they tell it in the style of Tolkien. If they had done that, the Rings of Power would have been an enormous success simply because it is Lord of the Rings. That's all they needed to do. Instead, they chose to go out of their way to create something that is inherently not Tolkien and goes out of its way to take all of the magic right out of the setting. And again, I want to stress, I fucking want to stress this point because it is so heavy of a point. The Rings of Power managed to fulfill the cake that walks greatest dream of beating Tolkien at something. That is how bad the Rings of Power is. It managed to place a Game of Thrones property above Lord of the Rings.
If Tolkien knew who George R. R. Martin was, or if he knew...
He'd be sad.
Yeah, I'm sure he would be sad. Considering he died a legend, I don't think he can do anything at this point. And honestly, there's a certain piece that you can find in that he died at the peak of his work, and knowing that his work would be fucking basically like legend. And still is. And it's such a legend that people try to fucking, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark is shit. Like, try to fucking pilfer it themselves.
Yep. They, the Amazon showrunners managed to sink the unsinkable. Like, they fucking Titanicked this bitch, and it never need happen. And a lot of Amazon's investors are probably asking that very same question now. And with Amazon stocks already being on a pretty nasty little downswing, bearing in mind it's still probably the largest company in the fucking world, mind you. Well, if somebody who owns like 5-10% of this enormous company knocks on your door and goes, fire these fuck nuggets or I'm selling, I don't know if the brothers will survive the winter.
I would hope not, actually. I honestly would like to see it be toppled. Or at least, what's the word, stalled from doing anything else for a while. Make them lick their wounds for a decade or so.
I hope so as well.
That's all we can really do. Big sad.
Crush them beneath the boot.
Our boots may be small, but they are many.
Right, let's move on to the Super Chats again. Fjolnir says, does Arch own a bunad? If so, then please wear it every day from now on. Well, you little homosexual. First and foremost, that's a very specific term you mentioned there, a bunad. I, unlike Gibbs, do not possess a vagina. Which means that I shouldn't be wearing one, because only women wear those.
That's rude.
It's very weird for men to wear them, and I'll stand by that. By the way, I will.
Also,
Some people will wear those things, but I do believe they are homosexuals, one and all.
One thing to also note, Barch, and then tell chat. No, speak for chat. Yes, chat. Hold still.
You're having trouble today.
Chat, shut the fuck up, chat. Don't speak. That's many words coming through my brain as I think about things. So, chat is saying a lot of... No. I'm banning you. Chat wants to know, because they've asked it multiple times, about Warhammer lore. And it's
about Warhammer lore.
Yeah, where's Warhammer lore? Specifically, where is it?
In general.
Where? Where is it? Did you forget to release something?
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere? Oh wow, he's being this way. Well, chat, basically just write it off as it ain't happening.
It's most assuredly somewhere.
He deleted it by accident.
It's most assuredly somewhere, Kyle. Don't worry about it.
It's more or less confirmed with that statement there. He's like, yeah, I did press the wrong button. I forgot to record. It wouldn't be the first time he's done that, by the way, where we make a video, like an hour-long one, and then he's like, Kibbs. I'm like, what? I haven't hit the button yet. And it's like, you what? Son of a bitch. It's true.
Besides, I figured it'll drive more viewership to this channel if it's delayed a little bit. Maybe I'll be moving it.
Clever marketing ploy. It's like, where was the lore? I'll go check his secondary channel. It finally comes over here and he's like, well, I'll consider it if my subscriber margin grows by at least 300% in the next 30 minutes.
Who knows? Who knows? I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere in the next while. Maleficus Shai Khan says homosexual things and will be ignored.
I'm not surprised. Mally always does that. By the way, chat, he loves to be called Mally. He does. Arch, in case you didn't know. He told me himself. He's like, please call me Mally.
Gibbs may be lying.
I'm not. He told me that. He absolutely adores being called that. It really means the world to him, Chad, if you'd call him Mally and never refer to him as anything else besides that. M-A-N or M-A-L-L-Y. Mally. He likes it. Now that chat knows that, what's the next super chat say?
Yeah, he might be lying. It's entirely possible. But you'll never know. That's the beauty of it all.
Well, it's too late. Mally is Mally now.
Sidewings Raging says, sorry, Arch. Kibbs beat the other 20 out of me that I was going to give you. Kyle. Punishment.
I didn't beat him. He just gave it to me.
I don't know if I believe that, Kyle.
Listen, it goes towards our project, so victory. A victory for the team.
Musk says, this is time for Twitter's employees to learn how to code. Better, or at least to work at a minimum. Yeah, well, see, that is one of the things, though. Twitter has, as mentioned, like 3,000 employees. I feel like Twitter doesn't need 3,000 employees. In fact, I'm pretty certain Twitter doesn't need 3,000 employees. And so I hope that many of them will find other vocations that they can be happy with somewhere else.
3,000 employees is a lot. Like, in the 2000s, like, a game developer studios that pumped out some of the, pretty good, like, AAA quality games numbered in, like, 100 to, like, 200 people to produce some really polished stuff. And I'm looking at Twitter and going, like, that's not very polished, and it's kind of janky. 3,000 people for jank.
Yep. Twitter hasn't exactly done anything that would take 3,000 people, in my opinion.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think so.
Space Monkey 0899 says Microsoft is giving Age of Mythology the definitive edition treatment called Age of Mythology Retold. Yes, they are. Hiccups. Re-releasing the re-release of Age of Mythology, which feels a bit weird, but
I'll play the trailer in the background. I'm actually, after Bill Gates was like, asked the fucking Reddit, like, hey, what do you guys want? Because I've got money I need to burn. And people were like, we like Age of Empires. And he's like, okay, whatever. And so then we got like fucking Age of Empires Definitive 1, Definitive 2, Age of Empires Definitive 3, a new Age of Empires game. All of those games are getting new content added to them. Age of Empires 4 is actually doing pretty well now that it's got settled and it's got new factions coming. And now they're doing Age of Mythology. Like, literally, the next best thing to make this more perfect would be Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. And we have every Age of style game done. Like, it's the golden age. The Age of series is revived. Isn't that weird?
It is.
That's
now,
strange.
granted, the new one was meh at best, but, oh well.
Actually, I know a lot of people who like that one. I
know a lot of weird people too, Kyle. Many of them have mental difficulties.
Age of Empires 4 is more or less just 2, but better, in my opinion. Like, it's just, I like the walls better. The walls are actually put troops on them. But it's not...
Like, I know a lot of people who struggle with their inner demons and their insanities and things.
But I do want an Age of Mythology game. Because, I'll be honest with you, The Age of Mythology HD they have on Steam is Cheeto, as Bart would say, but it doesn't have that definitive treatment. And I would very much like the definitive treatment for this. So I'll take it.
Sure you would, you little fucking simp.
I will.
Little
Considering
simp.
every definitive game has actually just been a smack out fucking like perfect thing. Like it's been a win-win-win.
He just won't stop simping, chat. How can I stop him?
And it's on Game Pass.
How can I prevent this?
I don't have Game Pass, but a lot of people in chat do. So now you'll have to try chat if you have Game Pass. You don't get a choice. We're gonna play with mythology things. It's so cool to use fucking monsters and shit to smash people. Like fucking Minotaurs.
I suppose that is kind of true.
Minotaurs are one of my favorite things in Age of Mythology. Like, they just fucking smash people. It's like...
You mean Minotaurs?
Whatever. Minotaurs.
Get it right, Kyle.
Take it.
If you don't get it right, no one will ever give you things for it.
Well,
the dog says they turned 3D chess of Victoria into checkers. Pretty much. Actually, almost a little bit worse than checkers. They turned it into something that kind of looks like checkers. Until you touch it, and then you realize all the pieces are made out of dog shit. And they dissolve in your hands. Did you know that dog shit melts, Kyle?
Well, all shit melts if it gets rained on.
How do you know that, Kyle?
I grew up on a farm.
And
for half my life.
You watched shit melt in the rain often?
I didn't watch it melt, no. But these are things you just know.
And Kyle's like, listen, it was dark and very boring.
Oh my god,
outside.
I do remember when we first met. They fucking... Your worst nickname was Farm Boy. Like, Farm Boy. It's like, listen, I grew up on a farm. I don't live on a farm. There's a difference.
That hurt his soul, apparently. Eric Pug says, appreciate the real review with real time in. I am a good person. I appreciate myself as well.
Wow.
It's true, though.
Look at him. His ego is growing, chat. See, you have to occasionally beat Barch back down, because we need to keep him from becoming like every other YouTuber, where they're like, I'm literally the greatest thing since sliced bread. We need Barch to have that self-loathing part that's at nagging at him.
Like, there's no danger of that, because, like I said, every few years I rewatch a bunch of Total Biscuit, and it reminds me to never become like Total Biscuit.
Maybe it's time to watch this again. He's like, what are you implying? I'm like, just saying.
Hey, God, I loved the man. He was the best content creator, but Jesus fucking Christ.
You know what's fucking amazing? I showed Barch this the other day. We were hanging out. I was like, hey, Barch, check out this YouTuber. And he looked, and he's like, oh, no, his receding hairline. Angry video game nerd. I watched an Angry Video Game Nerd video for the first time in years, chat, and I was sad. A part of me is like, wow, it's like, it's the same. Like, nothing's really changed content-wise. Like, right out of, blast in the past. But he has, like, a receding hairline, and I'm sad. He looks old. Chat, he's basically a grandpa now. Chat, help. He'll be a fucking carcass.
Angry video game nerd. But you know what's even worse, Kyle? I heard that Spoonie is doing videos again. Holy fuck.
You have no idea, chat.
Fuck.
See, I've never watched a Spoonie video, but I know so much about Spoonie because Arch and Alldog would never shut the fuck up. It's like you and Total Biscuit. Like, I know Total Biscuit because my friends used to watch him, but that's all I knew.
All right, listen. I'm rewatching his old stream content because this was back when Justin TV was a thing. Like, holy mother of fuck, this was a while ago, right? And he's playing StarCraft 2, and he's sucking at it. And he's sucking at it mostly because he's a scatterbrained moron. Like, he keeps sending his troops to die, and then he goes back to his base in macros, then he zooms on over and sees the scattered corpses of his men and goes like, why did you die? And yells at the screen.
Why did you? That's kind of funny.
And you will see him in one episode, like, lambasting the hypocrisy of a person for doing a thing, and the next episode he's doing that thing and defending it vehemently. It's like proxying things is cheese. Then he does it. It's like, you know what? Denying information to your opponent is a wise strategy. Like, God, he was probably the biggest hypocrite I think I've ever seen on fucking line. Genuinely so. But he was also the single best content creator on fucking YouTube. To this date.
I do like the
and then
idea.
He went crazy.
Now, how did he go crazy again? Like, what did he do again?
Oh, the cancer fucked with his brain. Like, he went hard Trump derangement syndrome at the end there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm starting to remember that. Because he got
it was tragic to watch.
He's like, oh, Orange Man bad. And then he, like, attacked his wife.
For voting wrong, yes.
He's like, how dare you? Oh. It's like, oh, dude, calm down. See, I only know TB from the fucking, like, some of my friends that were nerds that would watch. They fucking, like, read this shit called manga, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you guys are fucking chuny bush. Like, you guys
Manga's fucking great, though.
They're like weebs, and they're like, kid, well, let's read manga together, and I'm like, fucking why?
Fucking TB was great. He was a lovely, lovely lad.
See, I was bullied into reading manga. It was not consensual.
Kyle, everything is consensual. No matter what.
Barch is just smiling as he's looking at his next victim in chat. He's like, I'm gonna take you for a good time, CC. Now CC's scared.
Spoonie. My God, if only Spoonie could go back to making content, that would make me really happy, because TB just went a little mad. Spoonie went fucking orbital.
Explain to
chat if he could get back to making content, that would be amazing.
How did Spoonie go orbital? Like, what was the...
Oh, that is too long of a fucking tale, my dude.
Yeah. Just summarize it. What was the most orbit thing he did?
No. All I really need to say to illustrate this is that Spoonie made a Twitter account for his dog to hit on women. That's it. There you go. That's the peak. You need no more.
Damn, he must be really thirsty, dude. Like, that is so weird.
Actually legitimately insane.
Like, that's funny.
Actually legitimately insane. Moving on, Jack the Outcast says, Hail Archer and Breed Gibbs. The one game I want to see remade is the Wing Commander series. See if it could announced, made, and out before Star Citizen. You probably could.
What? What was that?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think he says it would be funny that it would be announced and made before Star Citizen is out.
What would be announced?
Kyle.
I can't understand.
Wing Commander remake.
The Wing Commander remake? Oh my god, that would be fucking... The irony on that would be fucking legendary, though. The Wing Commander series gets rebooted before Star Citizen comes out by a different team. I don't know, dude. Like, that would be funny, but a part of me feels like Star Citizen will be done at some point. Like, Bannerlord, did you know, actually reached 1.0 and has a Steam Workshop. We haven't even talked about that. Uh-oh.
That's true. Like, the soft launch kind of hurt it because people played it and then they kind of like put it on the shelf, and I'll play it again once there's enough waifu mods out.
Gotta collect my harem of warriors.
Yes, Kyle. Like, unironically, I need my waifu mods. Like, I'm not playing that game vanilla again. Jesus, I've done that once, never again.
Now, somebody make fan art of a coke-addled Barch who's like going through withdrawals. Like, I can't do it without my waifus. And like, he's fucking losing his shit.
Coke, the least of Spoonie's problems.
Oh God, he's relapsing.
Oh Jesus, good heavens.
Ah, man.
Master of Skitari says, and what classes are you going to play in Darktide? Whichever one is the least fucking boring, which is not the Psyker.
I will tell you, because I played the game a little bit more after we streamed it.
Why would you do that?
You should play the big, stupid, fat dude. He's the only guy worth playing in that game. In my opinion. It's the big, dumb Ogren. There's no other class.
Dumb, though.
I know it's dumb. Trust me when I say this. Like, the sniper dude, gay. The fucking psyker, gay. The fucking... Okay, maybe the one, like, zealot might be okay. Maybe.
Well, a 4 Ogren party would certainly be something.
See, the Ogrins are the only thing that's fun in that game.
I want them to add in mods. Add in fucking skins to Darktide, and do it like in War Thunder, where you can like have the skins, and then make it so other people must see them, like in COH2. And then have somebody make like a LOP mod, so I can play LOP and trigger Kyle. I can just bounce around like LOP. Remember when Star Wars was furry?
Furry, no. Actually, the problem is Star Wars and Star Trek both have furry races. Because the Star Wars universe has the cat girl race, which is fucking cursed. Oh, the Cathar. Burn them alive. They're monsters. That's dirty.
He's so judgmental.
The Cathar are a cursed species. You can play one in Star Wars The Old Republic, chat. You can just Google it. Cathar. Star Wars The Old Republic. That's the cat people race in Star Wars. They're in my eyes. They sting with sadness.
Shunkatsu says, I am awoken. Hi to the anti-vax cat trap. ANCAP cat trap. Anti-vax ANCAP cat trap. I made a good name for you there, Kyle. I'm quite happy with it.
One day you will rue the day you did that. It's true.
David Morrison says, Terra Invicta multiplayer when? Hey, Meredith. Terra Invicta multiplayer never. It would take years.
Centuries, even.
Yeah, it would. Game slow, yo.
Terra Invicta
Viking
doesn't have
TV says,
multiplayer,
is
does it?
AI Booba going to be a thumbnail in every stream? Maybe.
That was just a glitch. Or not a... No, wait, no. We're not chalk that up to glitch. That's a Barch moment, when Barch wrongly
just a
timed the
glitch.
stream. No. He also forgot to change the thumbnail.
Eat Pippi.
It's true.
It's not.
Chat's having a hard time realizing reality. They're so silly and stupid that I need to beat every one of them. Look at them. Weak. Oh god. Homefront was the game with North Korea invading US. Yes. That was the stupidest storyline. It's like, North Korea's taken out Japan, and now they're conquering the United States, and we've lost. It's like, North Korea?
No, it was because they found some kind of bullshit metal or something that made them like magically powerful and shit, and it was kind of cool. It was like adorable and stuff. We have magic metal. We're Wakanda now.
We're North Konda. And the North Konda attacked, and then America collapsed. I remember the multiplayer in the game was kind of weird, but slightly amusing.
Kyle just doesn't understand. It's a problem with Kyle. Stephen Nankano says, no, other aliens would have other agendas, like destroy humanity, and with their far superior tech, they'd just drop rocks on Earth, and no one would be able to do anything about it. See, he'll just make it so that they're stupid. There you go. And that won't be a problem anymore.
I mean, if they're stupid, that does remove the problem, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Like,
it fixes it quite easily.
Yeah, it's not an issue. Like, I don't see a problem here, champ. You need to accept this. Okay.
Me neither. It makes it all pretty gosh darn simple, frankly. Like, they're too stupid to figure out how to do this, and there you go. Voila. Fantastic. Saiso... I'm going to ban you. I am definitely going to ban you. Sister says, is W1 Remake what CD Projekt reduced to quite the fall? Which one remake? Yeah, well, they need some money. Yeah, they're deep in debt. Their investors are banging on their doors.
I just call him Psycho Star. Like, it's just easier that way. Like, sometimes chat thinks
but that's
they can...
wrong, though.
Yeah, well, chat's wrong, too. Like, I look at chat and I see coconut and I think, homosexual. Like, no, I'm kidding. But they don't get to choose their names. They can type in whatever stupid name they want, like Speedkiller 3000. Like, we'll just call him Speedy. Like, that's your new name. Your name is Speedy now. And whatever your opinion is, doesn't matter. You're Speedy. Like, Tarek Tech Marine, he's just Terran. That's her name now. You're Terran. See? Easy. You just rename them. What are they going to do? Cry at you? There's nothing they can do. They're just going to have to take their new nicknames and deal with it. We have all the power, Barch. Never forget that. And we're not accountable. Even better.
Kyle, you're a very bad person.
Look at that. Speedy's sad. Speedy hasn't typed anything after being called Speedy. Like Draconis. Like, we don't call him Draconis. We all call him Slutconus, or Dummy, or Stupid Head.
Psycho Star, fine. So, Arch, is Vicky 3 going to go the way of Crusader Kings 3 or Imperator? Gibbs, Bannerlord has finally exited early access. You best be running down those filthy picts. Is it going to go the way of Imperator? It is a little bit too early to say, really.
I will say this. Imperator wasn't like a mixed launch. When Imperator hit, Imperator was just immediately, within the first hour, was just flat nosedive. And it never recovered. Even after the patches, even at the Marion patch or whatever, the Warfare reforms, and everything they did, like, it never recovered from that steep nosedive. I think Victoria 3 is probably going to recover, because it's not the Imperator level failure. Because that was pretty bad.
Right now, Paradox is being very quiet because they're trying to judge how much of a failure this was and how to proceed.
Yep. And Paradox, if you're listening, you dumb little shits, which you're not, fix the game. Don't abandon it. I expect Victoria 3 to not only be playable, but one day to even be on toe-to-toe, if not better than Victoria 2. And I will not accept failure or defeat. We must have a good Victoria game with multiplayer that works. See, Barch and I, we did a series on our channel where we did Victoria 2 multiplayer where you fucked over poor Fairman.
Didn't fuck him over. Declare war on him, fair and square.
Barch is like, don't attack me. I'm China. I'm very unstable. And Fairman's like, okay, I won't attack you. And then Barch gets westernized. He's like, looks at Fairman's like, all right, so I'm going to invade you.
That was his fucking fault.
And I'm like, Fairman, I told you not to trust him. You let him build up. Your job was to fuck with him. And there he is, fucking with you.
To be fair, I would have swamped his ass earlier anyways.
Look at how cocky he gets. He only gets cocky, by the way. When we played Victoria 3, Arch is very cooperative, very helpful. Like, oh, do you need any help? Oh, I'll totally be there. I got your back, buddy. I'm all on your side. Then when he westernizes, I think I could take America. I think I could take
America. Kid. There were 100,000 troops in Texas protecting your pathetic ass from the fucking Comanches.
Listen, the Comanches were scary. They had more troops than
So,
me.
listen here, okay? Kyle managed to fuck up to the point of communist America spawning.
Whoops.
Then he released Texas so he could play in Texas instead. And then he had no troops. Then he declared war on the Comanches, got his ass fucking beat, and then came over to me and whined at me, Arch,
Hey,
Indians, you
Mexicans.
promised you'd help, though.
The Mexicans did show up too, because we were playing as, like, Boog was there, he's playing Mexico, and he had my back too. And yes, America might have turned communist, but you know what? It was going to do that like it did historically in real life anyways. All I did was flush out the enemy beforehand, okay? I did the right thing. I'm not the bad guy here.
It was funny. Many, many Chinese men garrisoning Texas.
There was about, I think, 60,000 in total, if I remember right.
No,
Which is
there was
quite
like 100 fucking thousand. There were 3 stacks of 30k just chilling there.
I do remember that Arch is like, I cannot be fucked to bring them back, so I'm going to leave them in your country. And I'm like, okay.
But the thing is, for China, 100,000 men wasn't a problem. Like, when I had that war against Little Fairman, at first I brought like 500,000 men to the border, thinking like, okay, I'll just naval blockade his fucking ass and kill his army. They killed those 500,000 men, and I was like, okay, now we're getting serious. Mobilization, 2 more million men fucking sealed the deal.
Fairman fought valiantly as Japan, but against the waves
Cracked
of
knuckles. Mobilize.
against the relentless waves of Chinamen, the Fairman succumbed and eventually capitulated to March. What did you take from him? Like, what was your goal? Like,
I freed Korea.
Oh, you fucking cucked him out of Korea. That was it. That's right. That's such a... I remember he finally gets Korea and he's like, yeah, I got Korea. And then Barch is like, I'm westernized now. Looks over at him. So I'm gonna fuck with you.
My fleet will actually blot out the sun.
Oh my god, that's right. We had World War I trigger with Britain. In the beginning of the game.
In 1800s, because I conquered Vietnam, and that drew in Britain. That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
and we won too because of AI France.
We all got involved and we all fucking started helping. Look, Fairman's in chat. Fairman's like, it was my first game of Victoria. It's also currently your last.
Yeah. And hey, I deserved it. I helped you early on. I helped you a lot. You were like, Peach, hip, rubbish. And I helped you. I went conquer this. I helped you. I told you what to conquer.
And then you fucked him up. Fairman was cooperating. He was helping the Barch. And Barch...
Hey, Korea was fucking mine by right. Okay? It's a part of the Chinese Empire at the start of the game.
Fair Bear, how do you plead beyond not guilty?
Pleads guilty. Now, Lucian says, where's my lore arch? Well, it's right there. The fuck's wrong with you?
Where? Let's check your channel. Let's see if he's lying. Google, come here. Barch Warhammer. Not my email. Arch Warhammer. I like how one of the pop-ups is the Arch Warhammer controversy.
Of course it is.
Like, Barch, edit.
Popatson says, CD Projekt Red has sadly fallen too far to recover. Them jumping on the ESG was the final straw. For a while, I was buying $28 worth of games on GOG to keep preservation alive, but I feel like they are keeping that on life support. The Yaha life is the true future. True. GOG never really grew as a platform into something real, which is a bit sad.
You haven't released anything in 8 days. Actually, GOG does have something. It's got Battle Engine Aquila. It's got a bunch of old games on it. Basically old games. That's one thing I do like GOG for, is the old stuff. You made a video on those stupid fat tanks. Like, okay, I do have appreciation for dumb, retarded-looking tanks, though. That are just fucking bricks. I'm a tank. It's like, no, you're not.
That's just YouTube not updating. It's there. It's been viewed 300 times already, so it's fine.
Let's check videos. Are you positive?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if I believe. I think he boomered it. I think it's unlisted or something.
Black 1917 says, Hail Arch Christ, our Lord and Savior, breed kips. Indeed. Viciously. And a little bit angrily. Sujad says, PayPal returned the $25,000 fine into their term. You mean $2,500 into them? No, they never removed that. That was always there. Like, that's been in there for years. I did see the little thing where there's like, PayPal returned the thing. They didn't. Like, that was always there.
And also, chat, for those curious, like, look, I'll just scroll down here. Look at how many cool games you can pick up on GOG. They're pretty fucking sweet. Like, Bart, you use GOG, don't you?
Fucking Carl starts simping for CD Projekt Red. Fucking Christ.
I'm not simping for CD Projekt Red. I'm simping for old games that I like.
Fucking Christ.
Look at these classics, chat. I'm a man of culture. Ignore the fact that I've never played Deus Ex Game of the Year edition. I bet it's good.
Weird, Kyle. Deus Ex was a very good game, Kyle.
The Deus Ex series is on my list. My only one I've ever played was Invisible War. I just remember putting people into a garbage container. And I thought that was very funny.
For all of Invisible War's many failings, I still quite enjoyed it for what it was. It was a game. Danny D says, I love how the rumor is that Rings of Power has maybe 1/4 of the viewer count as House of the Dragon. It probably does. That's the sad part. For Amazon, that is, anyways. Trims Archak says, hello, guess what? It's the weekly reminder of giving Christopher Everard some love and attention. Yes, I will shield this man until his Kickstarter is a success.
Mm-hmm. Be sure to check out Christopher Everard's channel. He's a nice guy. He's interviewed both Barch and I. Very chill dude. But he's Belgian.
Viking Kiwi says, Arch is a god. How can you harm a god? How can you kill a god?
How can you kill it? There you go. You fixed it for him. Good.
It is a good question. How? With Parmesan, as it turns out.
Parmesan? Really?
Yes. Finn Sane says, can't afford more than $2 because studying so high. Well, you should get a job then, shouldn't you? Yes. A job on the side, very important. Gole82 says, Year of the Spoonie 2023, baby, let's go. I would like that, but I don't know if I'm going to be quite that optimistic, frankly. Well, we'll see. The last time I saw Spoonie on camera, he looked like... How does one put it? He looks like he hadn't had a bad year. He looks like he had become a bad year. Like the physical avatar of a bad year had become Spoonie. Like, I am actually just bad time now. Negative energy manifested.
It's just sadness incarnate.
Yes, I will see, but I certainly wouldn't mind a return to the glory days. Fjolnir says, if you were living in the Warhammer Fantasy world, would you rather receive Nurgle's Rot to become a turnskin and join a war herd? I think both are pretty shit. Honestly.
If you join one of those herds, though, you can bang women. Granted, you know.
But you'll just be a little Ungor. Like, you'll get the sloppy seconds of other beastmen, which are probably, like, fucking half drowned in cow cum at that point, which isn't very appealing.
Yeah, that's kinda gross.
Like, I'm not sure that's a positive. I think I'll take the Rot, Nurgle's Rot, because at least then I'll be happy myself, because my brain will be screwed over by, you know, COVID. Yeah. I think the Rot is the only true option here, frankly. Artemis Fowl, also known as Slutimus AI, says, Arch, Rosa has come out in solidarity with Kibbs for Brovember. Brovember?
Artemis has taken it upon himself to commission one of our Brazilian artists that Barch and I use. The same artist on this channel who commissioned, who Barch posted a, a Zulu waifu, Indio Weeaboo. And he commissioned him to make My Little Pony avatars. And I confronted him about this thing this morning in today's developer meeting. And Indio simply said to me, well, it's money. And I'm like, you know, fair enough. Gotta do what you gotta do to pay the bills. He's becoming a furry artist. It's over for him. We've lost our Brazilian artist.
You and your disgusting little pony fetish. Truly.
You? What do you mean, you? This is Tat's doing. I had nothing to do with this.
I condemn it. As much as I possibly can.
I'm innocent.
Walking Kiwi says, Bannerlord's cavalry needs an overhaul, though. God cavalry AI is actually retarded. Just aim your weapons down. Well, you know, it's made by Turks, okay? They have a hard time with horses. You know, horses are their natural enemies. Don't necessarily know why, but I'm pretty sure they are. Like, I'm confident in making this assertment right now.
Wow.
Did I get that one? I did. Okay. I think, was that one? Lucky Kiwi? Lucky Kiwi? Was that? Can you tell me? Can you tell me? He's like, I don't know.
I literally can't tell you, but I have a DM from somebody, which means somebody's telling me something.
Likely. Right. Well, we can begin wrapping it up there then. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. As, well, I'll be gone not next week, but the week after that again, so I'll be away during that time. But we'll have one more week of ArchCast before us.
He'll be out chilling, relaxing. Can you believe it? Lazy git.
Kyle.
He's like, you
You're
can't
friends.
He's looking at me sad now. Like, little tear. We couldn't let him have that. Also, somebody in chat did say Spoonie's girlfriend broke up with him. He had a mental breakdown. Is that recent?
Oh no, that was years ago.
Ah, that's
He's been
what
having
blew him
that
up.
mental breakdown for about 5 years at this point, I think.
So what you're telling me is the story of Spoonie's descent into madness was actually women.
The story of Spoonie's descent into madness is literally a decade-long story. Like, it's a saga at this point.
A saga. Do you think there's any like dedicated channels that are covering it, and like they do like this fucking tales of like?
Oh, I'm sure there is a tale on the fall of Spoonie, because there was a whole thing with him. Like, he was trying to produce a movie and shit, and he was receiving a ridiculous sum of money on crowdfunding and like Patreon before Patreon was even really a thing. And he never made a single frame of that film.
Well, at least we've started producing stuff with our monies. We made it further than Spoonie, didn't we, Barge? Barge, like, only a little bit.
Only because we started later.
It's
But
true.
yes, thank you all for your generous donations, and we'll see you all again next week. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
There.